Cosmetics can't hide their pre-show jitters. Just 2 minutes remain before the biggest live show of their young careers. The Surf Sisters are the new darlings of the Montreal music scene. Their upbeat pop music is one reason. Their story is another. The 4 Haitian girls from Montreal North are backed up and bankrolled by a middle-aged white guy from Westmount. Together, theirs is a real-life rock and roll fantasy about how a one-night stand became a love affair that changed lives. From the glamour of the stage to the grinding poverty of Montreal North, this is the neighborhood where the Surf Sisters grew up, a place that, when it makes the news, usually means trouble. They're gangs, violence, and street workers who try to give kids a different option.
So we're trying to clean it up. And
Cussy Nicodemo is one of those community workers. He uses music to draw in the kids of Montreal North.
But when it comes to music, we got a lot of talent, a lot of hip-hop kids, a lot of good vocalists. They just hang out.
3, 4, 5, 6.
And hanging out is exactly what the 4 girls were doing 6 years ago. They weren't a group yet, and none of them was clear about what she wanted to do.
I didn't even want to sing. I was in a rap group before with 2 other guys, but I never been with girls, and I never sang before.
It was Cussy who first put the girls together, but with no money or resources, their prospects of making it seemed slim. And then along came Elliot Mechanic.
Hey, girls!
6 years ago, Elliot Mechanic was a man with a problem. He had promised to organize a band for a charity event. He needed singers to cover up his rusty guitar playing.
So what do I do? Who do I call to save the day? Cussy. He says, I'm teaching these 3 girls in a project in Montreal North. They're a bit rough, they're a bit rap, they're a bit hip-hop, but if we sat with them and taught them how to sing and we disciplined them, they could be really great singers.
They seemed an unlikely group, separated by 3 decades and several income brackets. Elliot associated Montreal North with angry teens. They looked at him and didn't know what to think.
One day, I'm in a class, and there's like this guy, this man, with glasses and his suits, and he came to the class and he said, well, I'm Elliot and I'm gonna play with you guys.
My first thought was like, okay, that's weird. Because I was like, okay, that guy from Westmount, why is he coming here?
Ladies and gentlemen, the
Still, they decided to give it a try. It was, after all, just a one-night gig for charity. But during that single show, something happened. They were a hit, a success. There was applause. And maybe that's what revived in Elliot a long, dormant dream. Because this is the other Elliot Mechanic, a cosmetic dental surgeon.
You have these muscles, these huge muscles called a masseter muscle.
He loves his job and is successful, but this was not the ambition of his youth. Elliot wanted to be a rock star. His father said no, so father and son made a deal.
He sent me down to New York City, and the deal was if I got signed to a major record company at the age of 18, I wouldn't have to go to dental school.
But the big deal never happened, so Elliot honored the promise he had made.
But because I had the opportunity to prove myself and I didn't succeed, I never looked back. This is music to my ears. Most patients
Then, 30 years after giving up the rock star dream, it all came flooding back. Elliot and the girls decided to stick together to aim for the ultimate rock and roll reward, a hit song.
Who's having chicken pizza?
For the next 2 years, the girls spent most of their free time at Elliot's, and the whole neighborhood watched and listened as the band practiced in the basement.
People on the street would come and ring the doorbell and say, "Is there a practice tonight? Can we go and listen?" And I'd have young teenagers sitting in the staircase listening. It was kind of, it was like a big happy family.
Okay.
You see?
While in the basement, Elliot introduced the girls to 60s pop music, and they introduced him to friends and family from Montreal North.
I started to meet more and more people out here, realized how much talent there is and how many people in this neighborhood really want to work.
And that's when Elliot made a big decision. He was looking for somewhere other than his basement to rehearse with the Surf Sisters. He came upon an old church. He calls it the House of Elliot.
Stained glass windows. The soul of James Brown is right up there. You see it? And we have great microphones, all type of speakers for different monitoring.
He bought the building and outfitted it as a recording studio. His plan was provide a space for young, aspiring musicians in Montreal North. It is a first-rate recording facility, top-of-the-line equipment, instruments, and computers. There are 3 studios and sound stages in here, 2 small ones for rap and hip-hop recordings.
Oh, there is none like you.
And 1 larger studio where on any given day of the week, some kid from the neighborhood is getting his first crack at professional music making.
Much better.
Teaching the local kids is Jethro Auguste's job. He uses music production as part of a government-funded anti-violence program. The program limped along for years at another location with second-rate equipment and little success. Then, a year ago, Elliot offered Jethro and his students access to his state-of-the-art studios.
It was something wonderful. I mean, it was more like a hope for the people in Montreal North when I met him and when he started to tell me what he has in his mind.
And find there is none like you.
The better equipment makes the kids feel that someone takes them seriously, says Jethro. Now kids are eager to sign up for his outreach program.
For young people here, we can believe in the future because of what we have here, because of people like Elliot.
What's this?
Yeah. This is the rock and roll room.
In addition to the studios in the church, there's also room for Elliot's collection of rock and roll memorabilia, posters, and records of his favorite people.
There's Brian Wilson, my songwriting idol.
And room for his guitar collection, 70 guitars and counting. And more equipment.
Nice old Hammond.
In all, this place has cost him more than $500,000.
I made some mistakes. I bought some things that weren't needed. I invested in some people that didn't come through. But you got to take a chance sometimes. But I had no plan. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow here. But all I know is if somebody shows me, if they can move me, I will give them carte blanche in my studio, as long as they want to work.
Dentist on drugs! Go, go, go.
And this is what he gets in return, a chance to live out his teenage rock star dream, a chance to play his heart out. And no surprise, he plays as hard as he works.
Sometimes he comes after work and we would say like, oh, he's tired and everything. He's the first one on his guitar and like playing and like, okay, again, girls, again, girls, again, girls. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He never stops.
Still, of all the things going on in the studios, Elliot's top priority remains the Surf Sisters. He writes most of their songs, finds the gigs, and along the way has taught them some tricks of the trade and life lessons.
I've learned so much from him. I've learned so much because of him, because we've been on tour, we did a lot of shows, we met a lot of people. Now I know how the industry works because of him, you know, so I know now I have the tools to maybe do it on my own now.
Elliot is like a really good example of personal achievement, I would say. He really put when he's dedicated to something, he's really dedicated. He put himself like 100%.
That 100% includes recording an album and releasing this song, Viens vite me voir, or Come See Me, as a single. It's also out as a video, shot using Elliot's car in the girls' neighborhood. The song is selling in the Quebec market. Now they have a second disc in the works, due for release later this year.
And you see, it's all wood. It's perfect for a studio.
For the dentist who worked 30 years before becoming a professional musician, it's been a long and worthwhile wait.
If it ended tomorrow, I've done more than what I ever thought I would do. That's one thing. So no regrets.
He's had a lot of fun.
Jesus.
And more importantly, Elliot's rock and roll fantasy has helped a lot of people.
I'm sure if this stopped today, there'd be about at least 20, 30 people like lost. Like, what the hell do we do now?
Hallelujah.
But nowhere is Elliot's influence more apparent than with the Surf Sisters. 5 years ago, they were 4 girls with little direction and little chance of making it. Now they are 4 young women with confidence in what the future holds. The aging dentist and the young singers. They started as a one-night stand. Now they are family, bound by love, and the quest for just one hit song. Lynn Robson, CBC News, Montreal.